New and emerging artists often need help to develop their own style. Today we'll go through a few steps to help you build your own style as an artist. I saw my first painting in 2014 and my style has changed considerably since that time. However, I now feel that it is very settled and I'd like to pass on what I've learnt to you. Many of you will have a drawer box or file with paintings that you stored some time ago. When you put these paintings away, you must have liked something about them in order for you to decide to hold on to them. Take them all out and lie them down in front of you. Looking at old work with fresh eyes is a really good way to see what you like or dislike. Is there work that really catches your eye or jumps out to you? Is there a couple that you're particularly proud of? Are there any that you think you should have dismissed? Keep out a handful of your favourites. Do they share a common theme? They may be all in the same media, or the same subject, or maybe the same colour palette. Keep this in mind as you go on to the next steps. When you work in the same way repeatedly over time, you develop muscle memory. If you jump from one media to another and constantly change subjects, you're preventing that muscle memory from growing, and I wish I'd realised this earlier. Before you can start building those muscle memories, you need to settle on one subject and media. If you paint a church one day, a giraffe the next, and a rose the next, you'll find out that they need very different approaches. Let's look how we can settle on just one subject. When I first began exhibiting and selling my artwork, it was mostly paintings of animals. And if I'm honest, I think this was because I was taking the easy option. Animals are very familiar to me and I was confident that I could draw them with a certain amount of accuracy. But I wasn't passionate about them, so I soon became bored. Have a think about what interests you the most outside of your art career. Are you fascinated by architecture? Do you love horses? Are you a keen gardener? If you paint something that you're passionate about, this will show through in your finished artwork. At an art fair recently, I received a compliment that really made me feel I was on the right track with my work. After studying my paintings for quite a while, a young man commented to me that he could really tell that I'd been on the mountains that I'd painted and I'd climbed them and I was showing the experience of that day. I suggest now that you write down what you are most passionate about. When you draw the same subject routinely, you also train your eye. The more familiar you become with your subject, the more you see. Pick a subject that you're passionate about and sketch it every day for 10 days. You don't need to take lots of time, 10 minutes is often enough. I sketch the flowers from my garden whilst the evening meal is in the oven. You could also put your best sketches on social media to get some feedback. When thinking about media and style, think about what you enjoy the most. Do you love getting out a big brush and quickly adding colour to the canvas? Do you like standing at your easel and dancing to some music? Maybe you like to sit at a desk drawing meticulous detail. Or you love watching watercolours run together on the paper. Look at the early works that you picked out and think about what you enjoyed most when you were producing those. Lots of beginners start by painting with watercolours. Although I still enjoy watercolours and use them regularly on YouTube tutorials, I soon found myself more drawn to acrylics and the vibrant colours that they have. I also like working very quickly and making bold marks. I may enjoy the works of more realist artists and envy their patience, but that's not who I am. You need to think about your own personality and what suits you. Be honest with yourself about your personality type. If you are a perfectionist, you might like the more predictable styles of working. If you are full of energy, you might like to work in quick bursts, creating abstracts. You have to be able to sustain this way of working, so don't force yourself into working in a style that doesn't feel natural to you. If you feel that your work at the moment doesn't have an overall style, there are a few things that you can do to make it feel like more of a collection. I suggest framing your work all in the same way. I used to frame everything in the same white frame. It looked crisp and clean and unified my work. It is also important to have consistency in your marketing. Use the same profile picture across all your platforms and use the same fonts and colours. You may consider yourself an amateur or emerging artist, but by presenting your work in a professional way, this will help to establish your brand. Finally, think about your signature. I used to sign my work with my full name and a date. Now I simply use the word Cal and I put the A and the L inside the C. At the end of the day, you should really be enjoying what you do. Paint what makes you smile in a style that you feel comfortable with, and then this will show through in your work. Don't torture yourself by painting something that you're not passionate about just because you think it might sell. Paint what you enjoy and the right buyer will come along eventually. I'd love to see your work. DM me on Instagram and I'll get back to you with some feedback if that is what you would like. If you have any questions, please put those in the comments below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you for watching and see you again soon.